June 2nd, 2014, St. Louis, Missouri, 7:15 p.m. A casino security analyst is staring at a monitor watching a man in a gray hoodie sit at a slot machine. The Lumiere Place Casino is a fortress. It has 2,000 high-definition cameras in the ceiling, facial recognition software at the doors, and a vault fortified by 3 feet of steel and concrete. They spend millions of dollars every year to guarantee that cheating is physically impossible. But the man in the gray hoodie isn't trying to break the vault. He isn't using a magnet, a counterfeit coin, or a wire. He is just holding a slightly scratched iPhone 4. His finger hovers over the spin button. He doesn't move. He waits 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds. Then he taps it. The machine flashes. He wins $847. Over the next 90 minutes, he moves to 6 different machines. Every single time he presses the button, he wins. He walks out with $19,000, and the casino's security system never registers a single alarm. He just stole $20 million from an industry designed to take everything you have, and he did it without ever breaking a lock. How do you rob a billion-dollar digital fortress in plain sight? You stop playing the game, and you start reading its mind. To understand how a broke Russian mathematician managed to bankrupt the casino industry, you have to understand the biggest lie in Las Vegas. When you sit down at a slot machine, the flashing lights and spinning reels are designed to make you think you're playing a game of chance. You aren't. A modern slot machine is just a primitive computer wrapped in a shiny box. There are no physical gears deciding your fate. The core of the machine is a microchip running a piece of software called a Pseudo-Random Number Generator, or a PRNG. Think of a PRNG like a digital deck of cards being shuffled by a mathematical blender. The machine takes a starting number, called a seed, drops it into the blender, does some complex math, and spits out a result. If the result matches the jackpot, you win. The casino industry felt completely safe because that blender spins thousands of times every single second. To a human eye, the output looks entirely random, but it isn't. Computers are physically incapable of true randomness. They only follow instructions. In 2009, Russia banned gambling nationwide. Thousands of casinos were forced to liquidate their assets, and a mathematician in St. Petersburg named Alex had his hands on an old slot machine motherboard. He opened it up and looked at the code, and he realized the casino industry had made a catastrophic error. They'd built a titanium fortress, but they secured the front door with a digital padlock ordered from a 1990s mathematics textbook. The algorithms they were using to run billion-dollar machines were decades old. Alex knew that if you figure out the exact shape of the blender and you know exactly what number went in, you know exactly what number will spit out next. The randomness is a complete illusion. He proved it. He wrote a program on his laptop that could reverse engineer the algorithm. If he filmed the machine spinning a few times, his code could calculate exactly where the machine was in its cycle. It could predict the exact millisecond the machine was going to pay out. He took his laptop to an underground casino in St. Petersburg, filmed the machine, ran the math, and pressed the button. He won. He pressed it again. He won again. He had cracked the code. He possessed a mathematical skeleton key to the global gambling industry. But having the key immediately created a massive physical problem. Alex could not just walk into a casino, plug his laptop into a slot machine, and start draining cash. Security cameras notice a guy typing code while playing slots. Even worse, the underground casino bosses knew his face. If he started winning too much, they wouldn't call the police. They would just take him out back and break his legs. Knowing the math in Russia does not print cash, he needed a ghost. He needed a way to reach inside the machines without ever showing his face on a casino floor. So Alex stopped being a hacker and became a CEO. He recruited a friend, a proxy. The plan was brilliant in its simplicity. He sent his friend to a casino in Poland with an iPhone. The friend sat at a machine and recorded 20 spins. He didn't play, he just recorded the screen. He walked to the bathroom and emailed the video to Alex's server in St. Petersburg. The server digested the video, mapped the pattern, and calculated the PRNG's internal rhythm. It knew exactly when the machine would hit a winning number. Alex emailed back a list of timestamps. The friend walked back to the machine, set a stopwatch, and waited. When the timer hit 0, he pressed the button. He won. He walked out with a backpack full of euros. The system worked, but a perfect system is never fast enough for an engineer. Emailing videos from a bathroom in Poland was clumsy. It took 40 minutes per machine. At that rate, they could only hit 4 machines a night. To make real millions, Alex needed to strike 50 machines simultaneously across continents. He needed industrial scale. He locked himself in his apartment for 3 weeks and rebuilt the architecture. He completely eliminated the human bottleneck. He built a custom encrypted iOS app. Now, the operation was a global supply chain of stolen money. An agent in Peru or Macau or Missouri would open the app and point the camera at a machine. The app automatically recorded the spins and fired the data under the ocean to the server in Russia. The algorithm crunched the numbers in seconds. The agent didn't need to look at a stopwatch anymore. The server simply sent a silent command back to the phone. The agent kept their hand in their pocket. When the phone vibrated, they pressed the slot machine button. Record, wait, buzz, win. Alex didn't need programmers or safecrackers. He just needed people who could feel a vibrating phone and keep their mouths shut. He recruited dozens of agents. They were pulling $250,000 a week. The money flowed through encrypted channels, totally untraceable. The system was mathematically flawless. It bypassed every security camera, every biometric lock, and every floor manager on Earth. But math does not have a pulse, and human beings are inherently flawed. Alex optimized his code to process the videos in under 30 seconds. It was a technical masterpiece, but it was a logistical disaster. It was too fast. In a heist, precision is your greatest weapon, but it is also your biggest liability. Real gamblers are chaotic. They shift their weight, they curse at the screen, they go to the bar, they hesitate. Alex's field agents got greedy. Because the app was so fast, they stopped taking breaks. They stopped acting like human beings. An agent would sit at a machine, hold his finger perfectly still over the spin button for exactly 7 seconds, wait for the vibration, and press it. Then he would move to the next machine and do the exact same thing. They didn't look like gamblers, they looked like robots. The casino security algorithms did not catch the hack. They caught the unnatural, frozen body language of the agents. On that night in June 2014, the security analyst in St. Louis pulled the tape. She didn't see a hacker. She saw a guy whose hand hovered over a button with terrifying mechanical stillness. The casino tracked his rental car. They pulled his flight records. They alerted the FBI. The dominoes started to fall. Agents were arrested in airports, in parking lots, and inside casinos. The FBI confiscated the phones, found the custom app, and realized they were looking at a global syndicate. They offered the agents reduced sentences if they gave up their boss. The agents folded. They gave the FBI his name. The network collapsed. The ground team was swept up. The phones went dark. But Alex was sitting in his apartment overlooking the Neva River in St. Petersburg. The FBI had his name, but they had absolutely no jurisdiction. Russia does not extradite its citizens to the United States. He had millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. He had no legal exposure. By every metric of the criminal underworld, Alex won. He beat the house and he got away clean. But a mastermind's ego is a dangerous thing. Safety is boring, and silence is agonizing when you know you are the smartest person in the room. Alex watched the news reports about the arrests. He read the FBI press releases. Everyone was talking about a sophisticated criminal syndicate. Nobody was talking about the math. Nobody was talking about the genius who actually built the system. He decided he didn't just want the money anymore. He wanted a receipt. On November 3, 2016, Alex composed an email to the compliance department at Aristocrat Technologies, the global corporation that manufactured the slot machines he had been draining. He didn't hide. He introduced himself. He informed them that he had successfully reverse engineered their PRNG algorithms. He attached the mathematical proofs. He attached the server logs showing exactly how his team stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from their machines in a matter of months. He proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that their titanium fortress was made of paper. And then he sent the invoice. He offered to fix their broken system. His consulting fee was $30 million. He noted that this was a fraction of what it would cost them if he decided to release the vulnerability to the public. It was the ultimate flex. He wasn't negotiating. He was holding a gun to the head of a multi-billion-dollar industry from a laptop in Russia. 2 weeks later, the executives at Aristocrat Technologies read the email. They looked at the indisputable mathematical proof that their machines were compromised. They looked at the $30 million demand. And then they ignored him. They forwarded his message to the authorities and refused to engage. They decided it was cheaper to ignore the genius than to pay him. So how does a mastermind get his revenge when the victims refuse to admit they were robbed? He burns the entire house down. Since the casino industry refused to pay him for his silence, Alex leaked his own perfect crime to the press. He contacted a journalist at Wired magazine and handed over everything. The videos, the emails, the server logs, the math. He exposed the industry's lazy security to the entire world. He forced the public to realize that the games were completely vulnerable. The fallout was nuclear. Casino executives panicked. Because the blueprint of the hack was now public knowledge, they could no longer ignore it. They had to physically dispatch technicians to thousands of casinos across the globe to rip the motherboards out of the machines. They had to scrap the old chips and rebuild their entire security architecture from the ground up. Alex never faced a trial. He never spent a day in an American prison. He remains a ghost, sitting somewhere in Russia with millions of dollars. He didn't just steal their money. He humiliated them. He proved that the house doesn't always win. You just have to realize that luck is an illusion and every machine has a heartbeat. You just have to be smart enough to find the pulse.